guys, welcome back to Daily Stroh Diaries. It's been a while since I've put out a last video. School's been really busy and finding time to edit stuff is really hard, but as promised, I have an update for you from Ghana. So I will be talking about what I actually did on the trip. First of all, the reason I got to go to Ghana was through the Clem Fellowship through Union College. And basically this family donated money to Union so that students could travel the world basically for free, and they could do internships. So we volunteered with Projects Abroad, and I chose to go to Ghana and do like a medical internship. But it was more like a volunteering, shadowing kind of thing since I literally have no medical training. So yeah, and I have my laptop here just because it helps me remember things. Like I take a lot of pictures so they help me remember things because my memory's a little fluky. But yeah, also it's literally like midnight, and so I'm literally about to sleep, which is why I have my scarf on. So yes, let us start from when I arrived. So I'm actually Nigerian American. I think I've said that before. So like I've been to Nigeria several times, and so like when I walked into Ghana, like just the airport was just a stark difference from Nigeria. Ghana, shout out to you. Your airport is nice. So the beginning was just like orientation day. They like showed us around, helped us exchange money, got a SIM card, showed us how we were gonna get to work the next day, and just like navigating Ghana basically. The next day I believe was a Tuesday. And so on Tuesday, Thursdays, they do this thing called outreach. And so we went to a leprosy clinic where people have pretty massive wounds, and we just help them dress them for free. And it's through Projects Abroad, so the service is offered for free for people. And a lot of them just have massive wounds, and side effect of leprosy is that it causes like deformations and deformations in your legs and arms, and so people just had wounds places, but a lot of people actually didn't have leprosy, which was the surprising things. A lot of people weren't cured lepers. There were just some people who had massive wounds, and surprisingly, like I expected to be grossed out, but I wasn't like grossed out. I was just like, well, that's cool. Like, I mean, obviously not cool. I mean, it was cool, but it wasn't cool, if you get what I'm saying, because like those wounds, like they cause people a lot of pain, and sometimes they were just bleeding like profusely, like even when you were cleaning it, like it was just consistently bleeding. Some people, like if maybe they didn't come 1 week to do the dressing changes, their dressings got dirty, and so there were maggots in them. Kind of gross, but it was just really cool to see, and it was something that I could actually help in because it didn't really require medical training to like clean the wound, dress it with iodine, saline, wrap the whole bandage thing. And I really liked that because it was really hands-on and I could actually do something. So I always looked forward every week to going there Tuesday, Thursdays. Met some awesome people. But we basically did that for all of Tuesday, Thursday, like from what time did I wake up? Like from 8:30 a.m. till like sometimes we'd get back at like 3. But I really found it like awesome, like, and the people like I worked with, like Enoch and Philip, just made the whole like experience just so much more exciting, honestly. Yes, and so then Wednesday was not an outreach day, so that was my 3rd day there. It's not an outreach day, so it's time for me to go to the hospital. And because I'm pre-med, so they say, I basically was not like assigned to a location to go. Instead, I could like choose the departments I want to shadow in and go there instead. So I knew that I was very interested in like midwifery, OBGYN, childbirth kind of things, but like I wasn't sure if I was interested since I never shadowed anyone in the United States doing it. So I had the opportunity to shadow here. So the first week I was actually in it's called ETAT. That's how you say it, but like in French it's ETAT, which basically means like state. But it was the emergency ward of the maternity department. So there was a lot of like pregnant mothers there who were like complaining of backaches, malaria, premature contractions, all different types of things. And so I was basically like alongside the doctors and nurses. We took vitals, hooked people up to IVs if they needed it. I was with the doctors while they talked to the patients. And something I found like interesting is that the whole, like, in the United States there's like a big thing about HIPAA, about patient confidentiality. In Ghana, like, at least in Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, they were just like speaking everyone's business out loud, and I was like, that's cool, that's fine. And there I met a medical student. I was like, doctor, student, boy. Anyways, a medical student from Nigeria who actually studied in Ghana. So it was funny or like weird that like he didn't speak their language, and so like talking to patients was kind of like hard for him, because he would be like, all right, I need a translator, like I can't, like, because some patients came in, they didn't understand English as well, or they couldn't like respond in English, so he always needed like a nurse or someone to like talk to the patients. So yeah, what else? So for 1 week I was in that ward, and while I was in that ward, actually I was able to witness a birth, because a mother came in, she was complaining of contractions, and so basically she was like already dilated, so we rushed her over to the delivery suite, and I asked, oh, can I stay? They said yes. The birth of that baby happened so fast, but it was not like I had ever imagined birth. So shout out to mothers who birthed children. Shout out to my mother, because just an interesting experience all around. I'm not gonna get into details, but interesting is the word. So yeah, I got to see birth, but I also got to see the opposite of that, like, you know, giving life, but also, you know, like, babies die. So I did witness that also. It was just like a stark it was a stark, what's the word? So it was a stark contrast what I saw. But it was good to see like both sides of healthcare, because that is a very real reality that people go into healthcare not realizing. So then my second week, I got to be in the NICU, and it was amazing. I loved the NICU. And I feel like what I realized from that is that I don't really want to work with pregnant mothers. I'd rather work with their babies. And the NICU was awesome. It was a very small place. I've toured other NICUs in the United States, and they're massive. Like, all the machines hooked up, babies are monitored. But in Ghana, like, they just had like 2 separate rooms for the babies, and the stable babies were kept in the hallway. And I really spent a lot of time with the stable babies, because the nurses and doctors were constantly surrounding the other babies. And with the stable babies, I could feed them, I could change diapers, I could pick them up when they were crying. So I really loved that, because I was definitely able to do more. I was definitely able to help out more than I was able to help out in the maternity ward. And like, another thing that I was also given the responsibility to do, which I really appreciate this, was that I was able to take babies' vitals. And this was easier than taking like adults' vitals, which I couldn't really do, because once upon a time, yes, I learned how to take blood pressure, and then yeah, I forgot, you know. But with babies, I didn't really have to do that. I could just take their pulse, oxygen, and respiratory rate. So like, that was very simple stuff I could do, and I was able to help the nurses in that way, which I really liked. And everyone I met was super nice, super helpful. They were always like, ask questions, and I was able to ask questions, and definitely I saw some really interesting things. I was like, wow, that's engineering. Wow, that is so smart. And that's really why I went into engineering. Not a big fan of engineering as a major, but the mindset is what I went in there for. I really wanted to develop a problem-solving mindset, develop like finding ways out of situations when you don't have all the tools you need, and that's really what I got out of Ghana. So I really appreciated that. And yeah, the NICU, also hard things to watch, but like that's just the reality of healthcare, I guess. Hard things to watch. And I definitely saw some babies come in, saw some babies leave, healthy, and that was really great to see. Ooh, something really cool I saw, gotta say this. So I watch a lot of Grey's Anatomy. If you don't know that, you don't know me, because I watch a lot of Grey's Anatomy. And Grey's Anatomy actually has taught me things. People would be like, Grey's Anatomy doesn't teach you anything. It teaches you stuff, okay? It teaches you medical terminology. Anyway, so there's this episode on Grey's Anatomy where a baby was born with its intestines out of its body, basically. And I got to see that in Ghana. There was a baby born with its, like, guts and everything outside of its body. And usually it's covered in, like, a thin, I just had my first anatomy class, so I'm gonna say visceral layer of, like, I don't know. Basically, usually it's covered with, like, something, like, around it. But this one, like, there was no covering around it. He was just out. So they had to, like, put in a bag, and they kept him there for a few days, and then they transferred him to the Capital Hospital for him to get surgery to push it all back in, you know. But that was super awesome to see. Portable echocardiograms, ultrasounds that were broken but hooked up to a monitor so that you could see that. Super cool. The thing I got to do was I got to take language lessons. So part of the Clem Fellowship is that they want you to learn the language of where you're going to. So I got to learn a little bit of Fanti. Yeah. So Madasi means thank you. Miracle, I'm going to, I learned a lot of phrases, basically. Afisha Pao, like, that's like season's greetings, or like Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. And that was also awesome. And when I was by myself, people were like, you're Ghanaian. And I was like, no, I'm not. But then when I was with the other volunteers, of course, like, they were like, yeah, you're not from here. Also, if I, like, speak, duh. But going to Ghana was really awesome. It was awesome to, like, compare and contrast Ghana and Nigeria, Ghana and the United States, Nigeria and the United States. It was like a three-way comparison, and it was just awesome to experience. Yes, and then I only got to go twice, but soccer pitch reading was a program where we went to a school area, and the kids were playing soccer, and they also get to learn how to read, or they get to read. So I was able to help some awesome boys with reading, and they were just so much fun. And I only got to do that once. The other time I played soccer with the girls, and then of course, like, I was only there for 3 weeks, so I peaced out. But I really wish I could have done that more, because that was really fun. Like, I really enjoyed doing that with them. And if you know me also, yeah, I love to read. So like, sharing my love of reading with other people who were reading, it was just amazing. And the food in Ghana, good. Their fufu, good. Their palm nut soup, good. Amazing food. The jollof rices, we're not going to talk about that, but yeah. So yeah, overall, I'm just really grateful for this Clem Fellowship, because I'm not able to study abroad because of, like, my engineering major with, like, nursing and medical school and everything that just swirled around. But I was able to travel to Ghana, and through the Clem Fellowship, I was able to get, like, real hands-on experience, real hands-on knowledge, applying it to my major, applying it to what I want to do in the future, but also, like, go, like, for free, basically. Stay tuned. There will be other videos sooner or later. Feel free to subscribe. Keep up with me in my busy life, because junior year just got harder. Exam season has started. So yeah, just let me know what you want to see, and we'll be sure to fit that in. Peace out. Going to sleep now.